Right, drag. We all know about drag. It's that invisible force, the one that tries to slow you down. Whether you're in a supercar or a massive airplane, planes hate drag. It's the enemy of speed and efficiency. Now there are different types of drag. Lots of them. But today we're talking about a special one. A sneaky one. It's called impingement drag. Sounds technical, doesn't it? Don't worry, it's simpler than you think. Imagine running. Suddenly it starts chucking it down. That rain hitting your face, that's the basic idea. Stuff hitting other stuff. Pow! So, how does this impingement drag actually happen? Well, it's when particles, or a fluid like air or water, instead of flowing smoothly past an object, they smack right into it, head on. Bang! This impact transfers momentum, creates a force, a backwards force, a drag force. It's not about being streamlined here. It's about a direct hit. Let's talk about the other drags, the usual suspects. First up, form drag or pressure drag. This is all about the shape of the thing. Think of a brick flying through the air. Not very aerodynamic, air struggles to get around it, creates high pressure at the front, low pressure at the back, sucks it backwards. A sleek, pointy jet, much less form drag. Obvious, really. Then there's skin friction drag. This is clingy. Air molecules, tiny little things rubbing along the surface. The skin of the aircraft, like trying to pull a silk sheet over sandpaper. Well, not quite that bad, but you get the idea. The smoother the surface, the less skin friction. That's why they polish planes. Sometimes. Every little bit helps, you see, especially with fuel bills. And for the really fast stuff, wave drag. This is when you go supersonic, faster than sound. Boom! Shock waves form. Big, powerful waves of pressure. These create enormous drag, a massive barrier. It's why breaking the sound barrier was such a challenge. Impingement drag, though, it's not about these big, showy effects. It's more direct, more percussive. Right, real-world examples. This is where it gets interesting. Picture this, a big airliner landing on a wet runway. It's raining cats and dogs, or just finished. Puddles everywhere, the wheels hit that water. And what happens? Whoosh! A massive plume of spray. Goes absolutely everywhere. That spray isn't just water having a bit of fun, it's hitting the underside of the wings, the fuselage, the landing gear. That, my friends, is impingement drag in action. Spectacularly. Now what's the effect of all that water spray? It's not just making the plane look like it needs a wash. Each droplet hitting the airframe is a tiny impact, millions of them, all pushing backwards. This creates a significant drag force. It can make it harder for the plane to slow down efficiently, or during takeoff it can make it harder to get up to speed. Water is heavy stuff, and it doesn't like being thrown around. Let's look at jet engines. Those magnificent metal marvels, they need to suck in huge amounts of air, obviously. Section 4, where this sneaky drag likes to hide. So, where does this impingement drag like to hang out? Its favorite spots on an aircraft. Well, the landing gear is a prime candidate, especially when it's down and locked, ready for action. It's all struts, wheels, pipes, and actuators. Not exactly the pinnacle of aerodynamic design. Air or water or slush from the runway smacks right into these bits, creating a whole lot of impingement. A real drag party down there. Then you've got flaps and slats, those clever moving parts on the wings. When they're extended for takeoff or landing, they change the wing shape, create more lift. Good. But they also present new surfaces to the airflow, and new angles. Air can hit these surfaces directly, especially the leading edges of the extended flaps. This can cause impingement drag, adding to the overall drag picture. It's a trade-off, you see. Lift for drag. Engine intakes are another hotspot. As we touched on, the main job is to swallow air smoothly and efficiently, but if the aircraft is at a funny angle to the wind, say a crosswind during takeoff, or if the intake lip isn't perfectly shaped for all conditions, air can hit parts of the intake structure directly, impinge. This can disturb the flow into the engine. Section 5, the brainy stuff, designing around impingement. So, how do the clever engineers deal with this impingement business? They can't just ignore it, that would be silly, and dangerous. They use amazing tools like computational fluid dynamics, CFD. That's basically a super powerful computer program. It simulates how air or water flows around an aircraft, or through an engine, in incredible detail. It can predict where impingement will occur, and how bad it will be. Almost like a crystal ball for airflow, but with more maths. And then there are wind tunnels. Proper old-school science. They build scale models of aircraft, or just parts of them, stick them in a massive tunnel, and blast air at them. Sometimes they even spray water to simulate rain or wet runways. Sensors measure all the forces, including, you guessed it, drag. This helps them see exactly how things behave in the real world, or as close as you can get without actually flying. It confirms what the computer said, or sometimes it throws up a surprise. Once they know where the problems are, what do? Well, they try to design them out, obviously. They might change shapes, make surfaces smoother, more curved, so that the air or water is deflected gently. Instead of smacking into a flat surface, less impact, less drag, they can add things like chines on the fuselage, or special channels on the landing gear, to guide water spray away from sensitive areas, or just reduce its force. For engines, intake design is absolutely critical. Section 6. Pilots to the rescue, taming the unseen beast. Now pilots, what can they do about this impingement drag? It's not like they have a little dial in the cockpit, saying impingement drag level high. That would be handy, but no. It's one of those invisible forces they have to anticipate. They are trained to understand the physics of flight, and that includes knowing when impingement might rear its ugly head. Experience and training are key, as always in aviation. Take off on a wet or slushy runway. This is a classic impingement scenario. Pilots know that water or slush spray will create extra drag. It will try to hold the aircraft back, like an invisible hand. So they adjust their calculations. They might need more engine power or a longer takeoff roll to reach rotation speed. They factor it into their performance planning. It's all about maintaining those safety margins. Critically important, landing in similar conditions, heavy rain, standing water. Again, that impingement drag from the spray is a factor. It can actually help a bit with slowing down and unintended air brake, but it can also affect how the aircraft handles. Combined with reduced braking effectiveness from wet tires, pilots will be prepared for this, using reverse thrust. Section 7, the unsung villain, why impingement drag matters. So there you have it, impingement drag. It might not be the most famous type of drag, it doesn't get the same airtime as form drag or wave drag, but it's a persistent little gremlin, isn't it? Always ready to cause a bit of bother, especially when things get wet, or icy, or just a bit messy. It's the drag that comes from a direct hit, a sudden impact. And why does it matter? Well, it affects lots of things. Aircraft performance, for a start, that's a big one. It can increase fuel consumption, even if only by a small amount. Over thousands of flights, that adds up to a lot of fuel. It can mean longer takeoff distances, shorter landing rolls, sometimes. It can influence the design of landing gear, engine intakes, and more. All these things have implications for safety and for cost. So ignoring it, not really an option, is it? While it's often bundled into overall drag coefficients, or accounted for in performance tables for specific conditions, it is a distinct physical phenomenon, a force in its own right. Understanding it helps engineers design better, safer aircraft. It helps pilots operate those aircraft more effectively, especially when Mother Nature decides to throw a curveball or a bucket of water, as the case may be.